Hi there, Sheila.
Hi, Terry.
How
How
are
are
you?
you?
I'm good. I'm doing well on this
Good.
winding down this crazy 2020.
Yes, it's been a year, but I love it.
It's been a year and we're blessed to see another day. And even though 2020 has been crazy, I really wanted to chat with you about something that I think this time of year brings about for a lot of people. And that is no matter how things are going on, it seems that this time around the holiday season, it can be a time where people start to feel a little bit of sorrow, disappointment, maybe some grief, but emotions kind of get stirred up a little bit. And I wanted us to maybe speak to those who need some comfort.
Yes, this is the time when there's a lot of sadness, and there's also a time to remember the good things that have happened.
Mhm.
It has to be purposeful, though, because it's easy to slide into thinking about the things that didn't take place, especially with us being sheltered in place and things getting worse right now. So,
Mhm.
what I have experienced recently, I would like to share, and it is with grief. I was not feeling very well about some of the things that had happened. And my son, who was a psychologist, looked at me and asked how I was doing. And I said, "Oh, I'm doing very well." Now, he did that twice. So it let me know that he must have been seeing something in my face that let him know I needed to talk to someone. And typically, as a Christian, I talk to God and I think that if I pray, things will work out. Well, he suggested that I talk to a psychologist, and I did. She was so helpful, which means that God is balanced. He created our spirit, He also created our physical being and our emotions. So we need to attend to both of those. And she was very helpful because she asked me how many people I had lost. And very close to me, I'd said about 10. But when I counted them up, it was 23 in the
Mm,
2 year period.
wow.
So I was grieving and had not had time to actually grieve appropriately. And it was coming down on me in such a way that it was becoming apparent. So I would recommend that everyone attend to those needs because there's nothing wrong with seeing a psychologist because they are very helpful. She helped me to see how each person had uh, contributed to my life and something good about each person. So I was able to deal with that very appropriately.
That's great. Great. Thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that. I think a lot of people, when they experience grief, sometimes they feel that maybe some other people are impatient with them and that they need to just move on. But your personal sharing of, wow, how many people, but even if you're someone who hasn't lost that many people, one loss uh, can be impactful on you, and we have to recognize that.
Yes.
So it's good that you reached out, and also coming from a Christian kind of basis, I want to share. I think it's John 16, maybe. Yeah, John 16 and 33. I'd like to read, and that says, "These things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." So I love that it's saying, hey, look, even though we may be in the faith, doesn't mean we don't have tribulation. And that could look like grief from losing people. That could be disappointment because something hasn't turned out a certain way. That could be sorrow because of maybe just a heartbreak
Right.
you're
Right.
experiencing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is important for me to talk to my friends. Even when it's not about grief, if it's a disappointment that I've had, I have close friends, and I don't talk to everybody because we're not all in the same place, but I do have friends that we share with each other. I'm not always going to someone with my sorrows and discomforts and never accept when they're needing, but we have agreed that we would be there for each other. And I think that's important too, because as Christians, we can pray, yes, and that is very, very important. But that physical part of us and that emotional part of us needs to be able to express. And it's so good to have a hug. I
Mhm.
asked for a hug when I need it because it just lets me see how close I can be to somebody, and we're there. And our word tells us to comfort each other.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just solidifying a theme of in my sister's living room. And that is we want people to get in community with other, primarily we're talking to women, but that can relate to men, anyone. Get in community with other people. We are here to comfort one another, and we are to seek that and not feel shameful,
Right.
you know? So, if it's going to a psychologist, like you said, it doesn't mean your faith is weak. It just means that you need help with process, and you just need somebody to be there with you. If it's a friend, if it's someone who, like you say, can give you that hug or give you that prayer, that scripture, that shoulder to lean on. And that's one of the things that we want to encourage people to do is get in that community with someone or someones.
Yes. And I've heard it often said that we are either going into a storm or coming out of one.
Mhm.
So let's take advantage of the times when we are coming out of the storm to build those relationships. And when we're in the storm, we do have someone that we can talk to. And we're not afraid, because fear is one of the biggest things that happens when you're uncomfortable. You're afraid to talk to someone, and you may not even remember to pray, because sometimes it's hard to remember to pray when we're uncomfortable. But I just love the fact that the scripture is there for us to go to, and it reminds us that we will have tribulation, but God always provides a way for us to deal with it.
That's right. He sure does. So, as we wrap up, what kind of encouragement would you like to give to the person who's listening that maybe can't even get a handle on why they're feeling some kind of way, but they know it's that season where everyone wants you to be perky and happy and just upbeat, but they just can't get themselves there? Encourage that person.
Well, I would say to not give up. That's been the thing that has helped me. It's even though I don't feel good all the time, there's a part of me that says, I'm not going out like this.
Yeah,
So come up with some kind of mantra or statement that helps you when you're feeling down. You can say it, and it just keeps you going, whether or not you get to the place where you want to be at that moment. But for me, it's I'm not going out like this.
I love it. I love it. And we're not going out like that 2020.
That's right.
So we also want to encourage someone if you're listening to this and you maybe feel like you don't have someone that you can talk to, someone who can pray for you, shoot us an email. We're happy to pray for you. Let us know how you feel. Drop us a comment. We are happy, encouraged, honored to pray for you and to send you that hug right now that says, You're not going out like that."
That's
So,
right.
hey, thanks, Sheila, for sitting in my sister's living room. Love you so much.
All right. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.